All right, boys and girls. So as you know, I stated in this morning meeting I might not be here this afternoon. So I have the math problems that you completed today from page 367. You were doing problems 5 through 12. So what I've done is I've rewritten them here on a sheet of notebook paper. And just like I strongly encouraged you guys to do when you were solving these problems on your own. And we know that we've now shifted from adding mixed numbers now to subtracting mixed numbers. So we got really good at adding mixed numbers after 2 days of practice. So I think the same thing will happen as we work through the subtraction. Most students usually tell me the subtraction is a little bit more challenging, but eventually they get it after a couple days of practice. So let's jump in and get started. We are taking 6 3/10 and we are subtracting 1 8/10 from that. Well, I know right away that I cannot take 8 away from 3. This just will not work. In just regular subtraction, we could not do this. So what I'm going to do is borrow a whole number here. So when I take away a whole number, I'm left with 5. And now I'm going to regroup. Well, I'm working with tenths, so that would be the same as adding on 10 tenths. Again, the whole number 6 is equivalent or equal to 5 and 10 tenths. When I add those two together, I now have a new mixed number of 5 and 3 plus 10 is 13 tenths. So 5 and 13 tenths. And I'm going to take away the 1 and 8 tenths. So just kind of move that one right over. Now I can take 8 away from 13. So when I do that subtraction, 13 minus 8, if I count up 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, I'm left with 5 tenths as my fraction. Now I can subtract the whole numbers. And 5 take away 1 leaves me with 4. 4 and 5 tenths. Now some of you, because you really like math and you love equivalent fractions, you went the extra step and you recognize that 5 tenths is also equivalent to 1/2. So some of you may have broken that down even further or simplified this fraction. If you did not and you just have this answer, you are correct. Let's take a look at problem number 6. So same thing, I know I can't subtract 9 from 4, so I'm going to have to regroup. So now I'm left with 8 whole, and I'm going to add on, I'm working with twelfths, so that would be 12 twelfths. And I have a new mixed number of 8, and let's see, 12 plus 4, I believe, is 16, and of course 12 stays the same. 8 and 16 twelfths. And I'm going to subtract from that 4 and 9 twelfths. I can take 9 away from 16 if I count up 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I'm left with 7 twelfths. When I subtract my whole numbers, 8 take away 4, I'm left with 4 and 7 twelfths. Question number 7. Now, when I look at this, I really like this problem because I see right away I have a 1 and a 5. I can take 1 away from 5, meaning I can do this subtraction problem. 5 minus 1 leaves me with 4. Denominator does not change, so 4, 6. Then 4 take away 2 leaves me with 2. 2 and 4, 6. Moving right along. Problem number 8. So this looks different, but it's still the same process. Thinking I have a 10 here and a 9 here, so I can't do this subtraction, so I'm going to have to borrow. This leaves me with 0 whole numbers now, but I'm working with twelfths, so I'm going to add on 12 twelfths here. Again, regrouping that whole number here to the fraction. When I add 9 plus 12, let's see here, 12 plus 9, I know that 9 plus 2, 9, 10, 11, put the 1 here, carry the 1, 1 plus 1 is 2, so I have a total of 21 twelfths. And now I'm going to take away from that my 10 twelfths. I can do that subtraction. 1 minus 0 leaves me with 1. 2 minus 1 leaves me with 1. So I have a total of 11 twelfths. Next problem, number 9. I actually rewrote these. When I wrote them wrong, I copied it down here. So I'm all the way down here. So don't pay attention to that. It's not number 10. It's actually number 9. All right, 7 minus 4. I can do that subtraction. 7 minus 4 leaves me with 3/8. And then I'm going to subtract 8, take away 2, leaves me with 6 and 3/8. Awesome. We love these when we don't have to do any regrouping, right? Makes our heart happy. Number 10. So I can't take 9 away from 5. It just won't work. If I have 5 pieces of candy, I can't give 9 away because I only have 5. So I've got to regroup. I'm going to take a whole number away. That leaves me with 3 wholes. Now I'm working with tenths, so I'm going to add on 10 tenths right here. I have a new mixed number of 3 and 15 tenths. I'm going to take away my 1 and 9 tenths that I started with. And when I do that subtraction, 15 take away 9. Well, if I count up 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, I'm left with 6 tenths. And 3 minus 1 leaves me with 2. 2 and 6 tenths. 2 more to go. Question number 11. When I'm subtracting these mixed numbers, I cannot take 4 away from 1. Will not work, so I've got to borrow. I'm left with the whole number 3, and I'm working with eighths, so I'm going to add on to it 8 eighths. I am left with a mixed number of 3 and 8 plus 1 is 9, so 3 and 9 eighths. From that, I'm going to subtract 1 and 4 eighths. When I do that subtraction, 9 minus 4 leaves me with a fraction of 5 eighths, and 3 take away 1 leaves me with a whole number 2 for a mixed number of 2 and 5 eighths. Let's look at the last question, question number 12. So this one looks a little bit different. Why? Because, right, we're missing a fraction here. But we know, because we did something very similar to this when we were adding, that really this problem, 6, is kind of like 6 and 0 fifths, right? We know we normally don't write mixed numbers that way, but we recognize that this is what this value represents. We can't take 4 away from 0, so now we're going to have to do that regrouping process. So we're going to go over to our whole number. We're going to take 1 away, leaving us with 5, and we're working with fifths, so we're going to add on 5 fifths, leaving us with a new mixed number of 5 and 5 fifths. 5 and 5 fifths is equal to 6. We all know that. So now we're going to take away 2 and 4 fifths. When we do that subtraction, 5 minus 4 leaves us with a fraction of 1 fifth, and 5 take away 2 is 3. So we are left with a mixed number of 3 and 1 fifth. So again, we will work on this again tomorrow, and after probably 2 days, this will feel a lot more comfortable. Let me know if you have any questions.